Hello friends, we are live for the weekly Monday Live. My name is Manuela and I'm the director at Aspire Immigration Australia. We used to be Northern Immigration. As you all know, we have rebranded. So our now name is Aspire Immigration Australia. So the winning topic today is the COVID update. So like usual, we always give you 3 topics to choose from. This week it was Global Talent Visa, Prospective Marriage Visa and the COVID update. Now we have done COVID updates previously. We just try to obviously keep you informed in regards to what is going on with Australia and COVID. And also in the world. So it's obviously it's a global pandemic, it's a global issue, and we will focus obviously on Australia. Yeah, so I will give you an update and you can also ask me your questions. So make sure that you post your questions in the comments, okay? So we're live on Facebook as well as Instagram. So I've got Facebook here, I've got Instagram there. I can see that we have a few people joining the live, and which is great because the advantage of joining the live is that you can ask me questions. You can also watch the recording, and I understand that some people are not able to join us live because they have to work or they need to sleep. And in that case, you can watch the recording, and you can also put your questions or comments in the comment box, and it will be answered by probably not myself, but yeah, it depends on the question. We'll always try to give as much advice and information as possible. So to start off with, as usual, please give us a like as you join. Just like the live on Facebook, on Instagram. If you can share it to your page. COVID update may be of interest for many. Doesn't have to be actually people, in the migration space. Many people are interested nowadays what's going on with COVID, and I can deliver my perspective as a migration agent, being in Australia and being, in the middle of it. And so once you have liked the live, then also please let me know where you're joining us from. It's always nice to see and hear where people are coming from. So if you're in Australia, just let me know the city and maybe the state where you're joining us from. If you're overseas, then please let me know what city and what country. So today I will speak about the COVID or give you a COVID update for both people who are offshore and also people who are onshore. And so it's really useful for both parties, so offshore people as well as onshore people, because we'll speak about, what are the options if people are offshore, and then what are the options for people who are onshore, yeah? So please keep the likes coming, comment, let me know where you're from. And I have my assistant in the background who will also try to answer questions as we go along. And any questions that my assistant can't answer, I will answer during the live as well as later on, immediately after the live. So the sooner you put your comment, the sooner I will answer your question. So use this opportunity, okay? Use this opportunity to ask me your questions, because this is meant to be an interactive platform where I engage with you as our audience, as our clients, as our, potential future clients. So at the moment I can't see any questions. Okay, so how about we just start off with a status quo, and then, so first status quo, and then I'll go into offshore. So where we're at with regards to the people who are offshore, and then I will also speak about onshore. I'll try to keep it short and brief to 30 minutes because we have found that that's the preferred format of these lives. And okay, we'll see how we go. If there's more questions, I'm happy to answer more questions, but see how we go. Okay, so status quo, no surprise, the borders are still closed. Yeah, they have been closed since March last year, so it's been over a year and counting. Currently, the only place that we Australians can go, as well as a foreign country that we opened to, is New Zealand. Yeah, so there's currently the so-called travel bubble between Australia and New Zealand. It is really hard for Australians to leave Australia, and it is very hard for people offshore to come into Australia. Now, can I just maybe can you let me know at least if you onshore or offshore? So inside of Australia or outside of Australia? Just put in the comment box onshore or offshore, or inside or outside. That would give me a bit of an understanding of the audience today. I'll give you a moment to do that. Okay, there's nothing coming through. I'm not sure if this is just delayed. Sometimes it is. Okay, so Christina is offshore. Okay, never mind. I just keep talking. And you just, whenever you get to it, just let me know. Because if the majority, for example, the majority of the listeners today are offshore, we can focus more on offshore. If the majority is onshore, inside of Australia, we can focus more on onshore. At this stage, I think I'll just keep it the same or even. Okay, so offshore. So we have many inquiries and requests from people who are offshore, so outside of Australia, wanting to come to Australia. Sometimes the people are either family members of people who are in Australia. Yeah, so they want to be with their partner, with their children, some sort of family. And other times it is migrants who have applied for a visa, who have their visa approved, and yet still cannot come to Australia because of borders being closed. An approved visa is not enough to enter Australia. What you also need is a so-called travel exemption. Yeah, so the travel exemption needs to be approved in order for migrants to enter Australia. So this is very important. Okay, and unfortunately we've had cases where, so we assist with travel exemptions as well, and unfortunately we, in our experience, as well as what other people report, travel exemptions are quite difficult to be approved. There is times where they get approved quite quickly and easily. Not easily, but they get approved. And then there's other times where they get rejected. And even if you have similar applications, like a similar scenario, a similar case, one gets approved and the other one gets rejected. So it's a little bit like playing the lottery, unfortunately. The good thing is, though, you can reapply. So I just today had a consultation with an American citizen who had their first application declined, and then the second application was approved, and she was able to enter Australia. I've had cases where there was 10 applications for travel exemptions, and I've heard of 20, 50 and more applications. So people just keep applying, and that is also my advice. Just keep applying. Okay. All right. So we covered the travel exemptions. Now, the best way, so if you are overseas, offshore, outside of Australia, and either you have not applied for a visa yet, or you are in the process of putting your application together, or you have applied and you're waiting, the best way to migrate to Australia is either have family in Australia, but it has to be immediate family, okay? So it can't be a cousin or something, it has to be immediate. So the closer related, the better. And so we said family, and the second is if you have a critical skill. Now, there is lots of critical skills, and they're also getting constantly updated. So I've got my notes here, so I'm just gonna read them out just so I don't forget any. So of course, we've got the health professionals. So if you are in a medical capacity, doctors, nurses, carers, anything to do with medical and health, definitely has very good chances to be able to migrate to Australia while overseas. Okay. So we've got medical. Technology. If you are in the technology field, very, very useful. Telecommunication, engineering, mining, aged care, agriculture, food production. Then we also have film, media, and TV production. So if you're in that space, there's also means and ways how you can migrate. And also religious workers. Yeah, so if you are in any capacity in religion. Okay, so now there's different visas for these kind of occupations. So there is, for example, the Global Talent Visa, which was also on the list for today's live, which didn't quite make it, maybe because people don't understand the meaning behind it. So Global Talent Visa is for highly skilled and in a very specific field. So, for example, health, defense, space, fintech, IT, and energy. And there's a few more, but these are the most important ones. So if you're in that field and you happen to listen to this live, either live or recorded, please get in touch with me, okay? Get in touch with me and my team and my company. Because if you are in any of these fields, and if you are wanting to migrate to Australia, there's ways to do that. Yeah. As you probably know, if you have seen a few lives before, and if you had contact with us, you know that the first step that we do is we book you in for a consultation, and that is where we assess your visa options, which is very, very important, especially nowadays during COVID-19. Okay. There's also the priority skills list, okay? And there's currently 18 occupations. Most of them are in the medical field, but just for completion, I'm going to read them out because there's medical occupations as well as other occupations. Now, how that works is, for the occupations on the priority skills list, you need to have an employer in Australia to sponsor you. Okay, so I'm going to read them out. I've got them here. Chief Executive or Managing Director, Construction Project Manager. We've actually had quite a few construction project managers. Mechanical Engineer, and then we have now the medical professionals. So JP, Resident Medical Officer, Psychiatrist, midwife, and then we have a whole heap of nurses. So aged care nurse and mental health nurse and a few others. We also have IT professionals such as developer, programmer, software engineer, and vets. So if you are a doctor for animals, a veterinary, then that is actually a new occupation which was recently added to that priority list. If you think that you have a special skill or a critical skill, then, and if you either just don't know or haven't found anything, but you think that could be something, then please reach out, and speak to us, and then we can see what we can do. All right? Okay, so we talked about that. Now, another option that I want to talk about for people who are overseas is international students. Yeah, so we have currently many overseas students. So migrants who either have applied for a student visa and it's still pending, or who have an approved student visa and struggle to get the travel exemption. We are really hopeful that international students will be allowed into the country, into Australia, very soon. There was one intake in January, which is now 5 months ago, and since then, it has been chaotic in the world with COVID, and also within Australia, there's certain areas in Australia that go into lockdowns every now and then. So currently, for example, we have Melbourne in Victoria is currently in a 7-day lockdown. And whilst these things are happening, it is, hard to predict when this will happen, but we do hope that it will happen very soon. So if you don't have a special skill, like a critical skill in health or any of the other sectors that I mentioned, then the student visa may be an opportunity. So we here at Aspire Immigration, I keep saying their old name, I don't know. Aspire Immigration, we are also education agents, so we can assist you with finding the right course, finding the right college, the university. Then we can apply for the enrollment, and then apply for the student visa, and then apply for the travel exemption. Yeah, so we can assist with all of that. So I've been talking now for a little while. Before we now move on to onshore, is there any questions with regards to offshore migration during COVID? So just to summarize, the way is today or these days during COVID to migrate to Australia is either if you have immediate family in Australia, or if you have what's called a critical skill. Yeah, so if you are working in a field that is considered to be critical in Australia. So that's the two options. And then thirdly, we are building up to hopefully having international students being allowed into Australia. Now, we haven't got a time frame for that yet, but this is currently one of the biggest hopes that we have for our clients and for people who want to migrate in general. Okay, I'm going to give you one moment to ask me any questions or make some comments. Feel free to let me know what your concerns are or your questions are. And meanwhile, while you're typing, I have a special announcement to make. So my assistant has just informed me that she has created our new Aspire Immigration Australia Facebook group. So as you know, we have currently a Facebook page, and we also have an Instagram page, and we have a YouTube channel and so on. But we are now starting a Facebook group. The reason for that is that we want to create a community. COVID has just shown that people need more nurturing and need more information because there's a lot of confusion and uncertainty. And we have now decided to create a Facebook group, and this is where we provide even more information. And we also will run certain challenges and certain competitions where you can, win free consultations, for example, and other things. So if you're currently following us, or even if you're not following us, then I definitely invite you to join our group. You can find it on Facebook. So just type in our name on Facebook. Sorry, I'm slowing down because as I'm talking, I'm also getting messages from my assistant, and she just informed me that there's questions on Facebook, at least, apparently, and I can't see them. So, oh my God, there's 16 comments. So for some reason, okay, so apologies. I was thinking, why is everyone so quiet today? Okay, this is making a lot of sense now. Okay, so yeah, so I'm just now catching up. But to wrap up in regards to the group, join our Facebook group, Aspire Immigration Australia. There will be lots happening. We will from now on, focus on the group rather than on the page. Having said that, follow the page as well, because yeah, it is interactive on both. And also on Instagram, of course. If you I know many people prefer Instagram over Facebook. We'll keep sharing information on Instagram as well. Yeah, so we share things across. But watch this space, because things will be changing a little bit. Yeah, they will be getting more exciting, and there will be more things happening, more events, and more value for you. Okay, so now asking questions. So we've got Andres. He's asking, hi Manuela, I have applied for my 3rd year working holiday, but my visa hasn't been granted yet. Should I wait or give up coming back to Australia? I'm planning to apply for 491 visa in Northern Territory or South Australia while in Australia. Yeah, so Andres, I do understand that you are overseas and applying for the 3rd working holiday. So assuming that you're obviously eligible for it, so that means you have done your 6 months of regional work. Working holiday visas are currently not getting processed because of the COVID situation and borders being closed. So yeah, I would not give up. Yeah, because no one knows what's going to happen, as in for sure. Yeah, we can all speculate, and I have very regular meetings with my peers, so with other migration agents, and we also have the Migration Institute of Australia, which I'm a member of, and we have regular updates from them, and they speak directly to the department. So we're getting direct information from the department. So to answer Andre's question, I wouldn't give up hope. However, I would also look into other options. So because you said you want to apply for the 491 visa in Northern Territory or South Australia, what is your occupation? Yeah, that'd be good to know. If you're still alive, then put it in the comments, and then I'm happy to come back to you, okay? Otherwise, if you watch the recording later on, put it in the comments anyways, and you can always send us an email, yeah? Or either an email, that's info@aspireimmigration.com.au, or send us a message, a DM, on either Facebook or Instagram. Okay. So we have Gitanjali, I hope I said that right. That's a beautiful name. And I know that you have been following us for a while. So thank you so much for your loyalty. Really appreciate that. Always nice to see familiar faces. So she's saying, very inspiring. Is Northern Territory starting 491 nomination for offshore, which I've heard recently. And Gitanjali is in India, so also offshore. Look, currently, so the situation in the Northern Territory is actually quite interesting because I have very good relationships and a very close network with businesses, business owners, and people who have all sorts of businesses in certain different industries, and they are really, really struggling to have staff because there's just not enough people in the Northern Territory and not enough people in Australia in general. So it is likely that something needs to happen, because there is even businesses that have to actually shut, close their business because they just don't have people to service, to deliver their services and products. So yeah, it's quite sad to see that, and so I'm saying watch this space. To all the people who are currently offshore, and I know it has been a long time that borders been closed and nothing is happening in the immigration space unless you are in the critical sectors. Watch this space, don't give up, prepare things. Yeah, so these are the things that you can do while you're waiting for the borders to be opening. You can, firstly, speak to a migration agent and get your pathway mapped out so you're clear on what visa you're applying for. And then also you can do things like do your English test, do your skills assessment, prepare, have everything ready so that when borders open or when applications open, that you can lodge your application, or we can lodge the application on your behalf, obviously when you are our client. Yeah, so there's certain things that you can do in preparation. Okay. I'm just going to look at the comments. I can't see comments on Instagram. Far, can you please let me know, is there any comments on Instagram? Because for some reason I can't see them. And on Facebook, it's so strange. Okay, so Andres got back to me. Andres is a hospitality manager. So interestingly, hospitality there has been a lot of things happening in the hospitality space. So you may have heard the news that hospitality has moved into the critical sector, and students, for example, international students who are onshore, so in Australia, and usually international students, they're only allowed to work 40 hours a fortnight, so 20 hours a week. And if they work in hospitality, so in restaurants, cafes, bars, cafeterias, and anything to do with hospitality, then they can work full-time. And also they can apply for a critical sector COVID visa, which is for 12 months and gives you full work rights. Because there is a shortage of skilled workers. So Katie Forrest River, she's asking, what is the fee after the initial consultation with you? So the initial consultation, so we do paid consultations because you get a lot of value from a paid consultation. Yeah, we also do 10-minute free discovery calls, but you're not speaking with a migration agent. You're speaking to one of our admin team members, and they just give you generic information as to what visas we can deal with and availability, and they can help you book in for a consultation. But during the free discovery call, there is no advice provided because our admin team, they're not trained and not qualified in immigration law. If you want to speak, if you need advice and information about visas, then you need to speak to one of our immigration agents. And for that, we charge a fee. So there's different fees depending if you're onshore or offshore, and depending if you want after hours or during office hours. This information is all available on our website, on our booking page. Far, can you please post the booking page link onto the live on both Facebook as well as Instagram? So then people can see the booking link, click on the booking link and see all the information in regards to the fees. And then you can also see the availability. So we are using Google Calendar, and that means excuse me, that means when you choose the day and the time, and say you are in Peru, or you are in Thailand, or you are in New Zealand, it automatically converts into your time zone. Yeah, so don't worry about thinking about, oh God, what time is that in Australia? Just, you see it automatically. Yeah, so we, for example, had a booking from someone in Canada, and for them it's Tuesday, while Australia is, obviously in the future. For us it's Wednesday. So yes, so anyway, so you select the day and the time that suits you, fill in your information, and then you can pay with your credit card. Yeah, and then as soon as the booking is confirmed and you have paid, that's when it comes through to us, and that's when we will be in touch and organize your appointment. And we do appointments via Zoom mainly, but you can also choose WhatsApp or Skype. And if you're in Australia, you can also choose phone appointments. But the preferred method and the preferred communication is usually Zoom. Okay. Okay, so Katie, Katie just said she would book a consultation tonight. That's great. We look forward to that. The fee after that. So we need to know what visa you're eligible for. And this is established during the consultation. Yeah, so every visa has a different fee, and also that's why we don't have these kind of prices on our website, because there is no fixed fee and no one size fits all, because every case is different. Yeah, so it depends how complex your case is. It will be calculated during the consultation. That's why we have the consultation, or that's one of the reasons, where we then give you a quote of services. So you will know, once you have a consultation with us, you will know all the fees. So you will know our fees, our service fees to do the process for you, as well as the department fees. Yeah, as well as other fees. So there's additional fees for health checks and police checks and English tests and skills assessments, all the things. So part of the consultation is you will get a written letter of advice with a quote of services, which shows all the fees. Okay, so I hope that makes sense, because for example, a student visa has a different fee than to a partner visa, or to a skilled visa, or to a COVID visa, or to a employer sponsored visa. Yeah, so I hope that makes sense. So we will establish the fees, the visa fees, during the consultation. And we also, so obviously the consultation is paid for, so you pay that fee, and when you then engage our services, we'll credit that fee towards the service fee. Okay, so say you pay $300 for the consultation, and that gets then put towards the total service fees. So you pay, it's essentially like a free consultation, and you pay less for the total service of the visa. Okay. Is there any other questions? If I haven't answered you, so unfortunately Facebook is always changing, and unfortunately I can only see the top 1, 2, 3, 4 comments. So if you had a question and you posted it, just copy paste and post again on Facebook and Instagram, because I'm not able to see any other comments. Okay, so meanwhile I'm moving on to onshore. Yeah, so do we have people onshore, like inside of Australia, who are but needing a new visa? So what we currently do with our onshore clients is, so when you're inside of Australia, you always have to have a visa, a valid visa. So I've heard a rumor that some people seem to think that, because it's COVID, I don't need a visa. That's not true. You still need a visa. That's why we have visas such as the COVID visa, to assist people who are not able to apply for any other visas, for example, or who work in a critical sector, such as healthcare, such as aged care, such as childcare, such as now also hospitality, the food industry, agriculture, and so on. So that COVID visa, especially, so it has two streams. So there is the critical worker or critical sector, which is for 12 months and gives you full work rights, and that is a very, very good visa. And if you're unsure, definitely come and speak to us, and we can also then assist with the visa application itself. And the other stream is the COVID last resort. We call it last resort. So if you don't have any other options, but you're in Australia and you can't apply for another visa, then you can apply for the COVID last resort visa. Okay. Now, of course, if you are onshore inside of Australia and you have an occupation that is on the skills list, you have, the required qualifications, you have the required work experience, and you maybe have an employer who wants to sponsor you, or you don't need an employer to sponsor you because your skill is on the medium and long-term strategic skills list, then you can apply for an even better visa. So that is also something that we established in the consultation. Let's say you are eligible for a few different visas, which is definitely possible. Then we advise you what we think is the most suitable visa for you and your circumstances, based on your goals, based on things like timing for processing, based on costs. Some visas are more expensive than others. So we give you advice. Essentially, it's obviously your choice. You choose the visa that you want to apply for. But if you have several to choose from, then we give you our opinion and our advice and our recommendation. So COVID visa is definitely available to people onshore, okay, not offshore. We sometimes get asked from people offshore to apply for COVID visa. That's not possible. But if you're inside of Australia, the COVID visa is definitely a very valid option. Let me just see. I'm just going to refresh my browser if I can see any other comments. And I can't see any comments on Instagram. Far, can you please let me know if there's any comments on Instagram? Nope. Can't see any comments. As in any new comments. And maybe there's no new comments. Maybe I have been very clear and detailed and thorough that all your questions are answered. Or maybe you just, I don't know, maybe you're listening to me while driving. I do that a lot. So when I drive, I listen to podcasts, I listen to Facebook Lives, Instagram Lives. I'm always listening to something, or I'm actually doing phone calls. So driving is, or if you're in the bus or on the train, or even in the gym, I always have my headphones on and multitasking. Okay, well, this is all I have to share for today. We are, I don't know how long we've been going for. It doesn't feel very long, but I feel I have been talking a lot. Last chance to ask me questions while I'm live. This is also something that is worth joining the group for, because we'll be making changes to the live. Yeah? So in future, there will be changes to the life. That will be a little surprise, and there will be many, many more surprises. So look out for the group and join the group. Okay. There's no more comments or questions, and I see also people are dropping off. That's why I'm saying I think half an hour is really the mark for these lives, because I know everyone is different. Not different. Everyone is busy, and if there's no other questions, then I will leave it at that. I hope that was helpful. Like I said, please send us a message on Facebook, on Instagram, email, and we'll book you in for a consultation, assess your visa options, provide you with advice, provide you with recommendations, and then yes, we can definitely assist you with the whole process. So like I said, student visas may be a really good option in the future to come to Australia, hopefully very soon, as well as if you have certain skills. So if you have a certain occupation, either one of the ones that I read out to you, or if you're not sure, like I said, we can establish all your visa options during a paid consultation. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me for the live. Keep posting your comments and your questions. We'll always answer, even if you watch the recording. And I look forward to the next live, and I look forward to seeing you all in the group, in the Facebook group, Aspire Immigration Australia. Join the group now. It is live. All right, I'll see you next time.